The principle of vibration is so interesting because it says that everything in the universe is moving all the time. It's always vibrating and moving. When quantum physics first looked at the atom, as the earlier physicists, they saw the physical structures of protons, neutrons, and electrons. But as they started to take it apart, they found out at the very bottom, there wasn't anything physical. It was a vortex of energy. Energy, you can't see energy. What does energy look like, or what is it? You can visualize energy by taking a rock and dropping it into a pond. Well, the energy of the rock as it hits the water is translated into the pond water. What is the result? Ripples that radiate out, ripples and ripples radiating out. That is the shape of energy. Are you seeing the energy? The energy is a force who is shaping matter. And so you see the water being shaped by the energy. It's not the water that you see making the wave, it's the energy underneath the water. It's continuously vibrating. Waves and ripples come out of atoms. Atoms are spinning vortexes of energy, and in the process, they make waves. And these ripples go out into space. What atoms? All atoms. Everything in the known universe in regard to the physical experience is based on atoms, and all atoms are energy vortices with ripples that radiate out. Now, there are different vibrations, meaning different rates of rippling. Some atoms, the ripples are very big and very long, slow waves. Some atoms ripple with very, very fast waves or very short waves. So it's wavelength and cycles. They're all different for different atoms, but all atoms share the same understanding. All atoms represent vibrations. And this becomes important in physics because when vibrations come together, what happens to them if two ripples are coming toward each other? Well, there are two extreme consequences when the two ripples come together. If the ripples are in harmony, they're both going up and down at the same time, they're in harmony. When they meet together, the vibration amplitude, the height of the ripple, is increased. So the height of the ripple is power. Everything that vibrates, if they're in harmony and the two are in harmony and they're both going up and down at the same time in their ripples, they come together, they create a greater height, more energy. Now, technically, we call that constructive interference. They're interfering, but the result is constructive, meaning the waves get bigger. Well, let's step outside the physics for a second, and I just want you to know, in our life experience, also being vibrational elements ourselves, that we experience these constructive interferences, but we refer to them as good vibes. Good vibes are when you find that some energy in the field interacts with you and you have more energy and more power. Good vibes are wonderful because life is energy, and the more energy we have, the more life we have. But another alternative is, what if the ripples are not aligned? So one ripple from an atom is going down, the other ripple is going up. When this one's going down, this one's going up. They're out of phase. Well, when they're out of phase and they start coming together, they can actually cancel each other out. So what were ripples all of a sudden turns flat. And all of a sudden, there's no vibes. This is an interaction that we refer to as destructive interference because it can take two energies and cancel them out with no energy. Well, let's take that and put it into human terms. It's called bad vibes. You know about that. You might have been in the wrong place or a place you were unfamiliar with. You were unsure as what's going on in your world, and all of a sudden you felt your energy start to go away. You felt weaker and weaker. Well, energy is life. If your energy is canceled, you have no life. So what are bad vibes? Bad vibes are telling you that the energy in the field that you're in is counter to your energy, and in a destructive interference, these energies cancel each other out. It's very important to recognize these vibes for your vitality, because good vibes tell you you're in the right place. Bad vibes tell you your life is being threatened because you're losing energy, and since energy is life, a loss of energy, a loss of life. So we have vibration. Everything vibrates. Why? All atoms are spinning nano tornadoes, sending out ripples of waves of energy into the universe. Well, the important insight from quantum physics, of course, is all atoms are vibrational energy. vibrational energy. But wait, by definition, energy is invisible. And so this all of a sudden brings a question. Well, if we're made out of energy, how can you see me? The simple fact is this, and it sounds like a joke, but it's foundationally true. You can see me because the lights are on. The light is photons, particles of energy that are coming from the light source. And when the photons hit your energy, they're repelled backwards. And so you don't see me, but you see the reflection of light coming off the surface of my energy. And so you see the light, it's like a veneer of photons. Underneath that veneer of photons, I'm an invisible structure. Why? Atoms are energy, and energy is invisible. So fortunately, we have an opportunity for light to illustrate what appears to us as matter, although it's all energy. While our bodies are invisible, you can only see us because of the reflected light. But you know, the new technologies that medicine has called scan systems, MRI or CAT scans, for example, when you see the result of these scans, you can see all the structures in the human body. But you have to then step back and recognize the scan doesn't read light. The scan only reads energy fields. So guess what? The structures in your body, invisible, but are fields of energy that can be detected by a device that reads energy. So underneath that veneer, we're invisible. Yeah, but you might be invisible, but physical things, you can touch them, you can feel them. Where's the physical part of the energy? Atoms are nano tornadoes. Well, let's consider then the real tornado. It's a spinning vortex of energy. Try and drive your car through a tornado. As you get to the tornado, the force field of that vibration can actually lift up your car and throw it away. Vortices of energies, nano tornadoes, have force fields to them. Now, when you try to touch something, this hand, oh, it looks physical to you, right? Oh, when I shut off the light, you're not going to see it. But the fact is, even in the dark, I can take this hand and touch this hand. I said, what am I touching? You're touching the vibration. Shouldn't my hand go through? The nano tornadoes of the atoms making up my body, each has a small force field. But when you put trillions of force fields together, they're very powerful force fields. So this hand cannot go through this hand because as it hits the force field, its force field will be repelled. So basically, vibration leads to the world that we perceive of what? Physical matter, physical objects. Those are illusions. It's got all the debris and the dirt and the dust that's been picked up by the windstorm and thrown all around. But here's the point. If you take the dirt and dust out of the tornado, it's still an energy force field, even though now you can't see it. An energy force is invisible, but you can feel it because it will push on you, you push on it. That feels physical. As far as we know, the ancient people weren't talking quantum physics, but they obviously knew quantum physics because they understood the nature of the vibration. Even though they live in a world like we live in the world that appears to be physical, this ancient wisdom was built into the Hermetic principles.